Hey, I'm here for Junk Journal July, day 5, and the prompt today is lettering. So I've got a bunch of things kicking around my desk here that I don't really have a purpose for, or didn't until now, so I'm gonna use up a bunch of things that I have. I've got a little bit of washi, a little bit of tissue. Yeah, we'll just see where this goes. I'm also going to try to do the whole thing in black and white, maybe with a little bit of accent colors here and there. But the thing is, I use a lot of like flowery colors in my work, and yeah, I start to get bored pretty quickly, so I'm gonna try to do something a little bit different. So first I'm gonna take some of this tissue paper and create a bit of a background. I like the lettering in here. It's a bit grungy looking, and that is also different from my style. This paper doesn't rip that easily. Okay. So I saw the creator for the day. I saw her video and really loved what she did. Unfortunately, I'm forgetting her name right now, so I'm gonna go back and find that and put it in the comments. But she cuts out letters from magazines and is working towards having cut out letters for every letter in the alphabet so that she can use them in her collage. I love that idea. And then I got feeling ambitious, and I decided I was going to come up with some kind of a message or a phrase, and I was going to find all the letters for that and try to spell it out on my piece for today. But that clearly revealed itself to be too much time. So I also learned some interesting things about typography in magazines. I have a whole bunch of magazines I was going to try to use today. And the thing is, most of the lettering is black or white in magazines, and oftentimes I see the same font being used all the time. It's like this block letter type of font that's really trendy right now, and everybody's using it. And like across advertisers, they're using this same font. And anyway, I just thought that was kind of weird, but also interesting. That we're seeing the same font. So like, different advertisers are just using the same font to advertise their products, and I don't know, it just doesn't make them really stand out too much from one another. And yeah, so if anyone's out there listening to this, maybe you can try to get a little more creative in some of your typography that you're using in magazines. I have a few washi tapes that have letters on them. I really like showing text of whatever kind in my art, and I tend to really go for using this scrolly type of writing. I just think it's really pretty, and I still think it's really pretty. I just think I use the same type of a look for a lot of the art that I make, and thought I'd just try to do something a bit different today. So I'm just picking up some different washi tapes from here and there. I've also got some book pages that I'm going to incorporate. I grabbed this gardening book that was part of a set of gardening books at an antique store, and I picked it up. I didn't really look at it too closely, and it kind of has a lot more text in it than I thought I was getting. I thought I was going to get more pictures, but I'm going to start using some of the text pages in some of my art as well. So take a little bit of that out, and maybe I'll come back and get some more in a sec. I'm gonna make just a very kind of organic shape and just see where I can fit this in. Maybe if I go that way, then okay, yeah, do that there. I used too much of this glue. Here, oh well, too late now. And then while I was rifling around looking for some things to use in this, I came across this little piece of tissue that says "you can" on it. So I think that's going to become a focal point a little bit later on. I got more washi tape with words on it. I like this stuff. So let me use a little bit more washi tape in a few spots. This one has little sayings on it. Whatever is worth doing at all is worth doing well, and everyone becomes a poet. So that's nice. Okay, I need some things for this space. I also have this book that I picked up somewhere. It's missing some pages and it's not in very good condition, so I thought it would be good for my art, and I tend to create things that are really seasonal, so I thought it would have some nice pictures in it. And it's also got some pages with text on it, and also a lot of the pages are a little bit strange. There's a lot of like themes of, you know, frontierism and people being stuck in the snow and whatnot. It's a very supposedly Canadian story that we like to tell a lot here. There's a lot of mythology about Canada and our relationship to winter, and we hardly even have winter anymore. But anyways, let me see if I can find a passage of something that just looks okay, and I'm gonna cut it out and put it on. Okay. Wow. Our emotions too are kept tightly wrapped, yet that does not mean that we lack passion. In Love, the Nights Are Long, Irving Layton points out that Canadians have written some of the best love poetry in the world because, being a backward folk, they have not heard that love is dead. I doubt that we are backward. Buoyant is a better description, for winter has made us buoyant people, a tough, resilient breed, able to adapt to the longest of our seasons, to come to terms with it, to survive, yes, to celebrate it. The stunning pictures that follow will say it all. That's pretty funny, because I don't think that we're, what was that word? We're not backward, and we're also pretty cynical people. And buoyant is a really weird word to use. Anyway, we are just like everybody else in Canada. We're just trying to do our thing, live our lives, and, you know, make an okay life for our kids. Anyway, I thought I would cut out a little bit more of a, just a square of text, just to bring in some, a little bit more structure to this, because it's really kind of all over the place. I love putting things upside down, things that are oriented differently than everything else on the page, and different from the way I'm working on the page. I don't want people to necessarily be able to read the text that's in things. I just want people to know that it's text, that it's that it's writing, and that it's actually more so a part of my design, and not so much something that they need to stop and read. So yeah, okay, so now this part over here is getting a little bit blah. I'm gonna put some more of this gray washi just up along here. Give up, time 5, that grows into our hearts. Nice. Okay, and now I need to do something in here still, and then I'm going to put this on top of whatever I'm doing here. I found this piece of a page out of a dictionary. I think maybe it's Chinese. I'm not that familiar with Chinese characters or any other language that has different characters. But you know what? We can be very inclusive here in our with our lettering theme, and it doesn't all have to be English letters. So I'm going to use a piece of this. It's actually really nice. It looks really nice, and I'm not really sure where I got it from, but I'm gonna do a piece in here. And again, I'm gonna do some straight edges on this just because I've ripped a bunch of things. Oh, but wait a minute. It's gonna go over things that are not ripped. So let me just go for it and rip it. Okay, so that kind of fills up that space nicely. But unfortunately now, I think I've pulled off a lot of the Chinese characters. I'm gonna hang on to those because I think I need a little bit of bits and pieces towards the end of this anyways. Okay, let me change my mind. I'm gonna use this so that I'm getting the Chinese characters in there. And I'm gonna rip it, but just a little bit. You keep that straight edge up there. I kind of like the look of ripped stuff. Okay. Let me put that. Well, that looks nice. And again, if I'm correct, the Chinese language is not written left to right the way English is, so maybe I've got it oriented more authentically anyway. So there we go. And that leaves me with a little bit here. I've got this washi tape that kind of looks like a little teeny book page. So I'm just gonna use some of that there. Yep. Is this the right length? It's good enough. I think I did myself a favor here when I ripped it and made it easier to pull the back off. Okay, so now I feel like I need another layer and some little bits of things here and there. Just to give the design a little bit more balance, I'm going to use up some of these little ribbey pieces from when I was pulling out the piece from the Chinese dictionary. And then also I'm bringing a little bit of that yellowy background down here just to pull things together a little bit. Not that that's really the goal of junk journaling. Junk journaling is supposed to be just you basically going for it. Let me put like another piece of this in here somewhere. Okay. Now I need some little things here. So I'm going to backtrack a bit on what I said before about not cutting things out from magazines. I'm going to try cutting out just some words from this magazine. So right away, there's an article here about rethinking romaine lettuce. Well, I'm going to borrow the rethink from the title of that. Let me just stick that right there because I know that I've got some glue there. Okay. Let's see if I can find another interesting word. Hunting for snacks. More of the ribs you love. I'm not having too much luck here. I'm gonna go off camera for a sec. Okay, so I didn't think everybody needed to sit and watch me going through a Costco magazine to try to find some good words. So I just went off camera and did that for a sec. So I've got rethink, and then I found prosper. That's up there, that looks nice. And then the word letter was sitting around here on my desk probably the whole time and didn't even notice. So, and I also found become, so I think that's cool. I'm going to just plug this in right up in here, just on an angle. So I feel like this is becoming a little bit inspirational now. So I've still got this "you can" thing. I'm gonna stick it right here, and it's just gonna be a bit of a focal point. Okay, you can. So I think that's it for me for today, for the Junk Journal Challenge. I hope some of this was interesting, and I certainly was able to get my washi tape that has words on it and lettering on it. I was able to get that out and get that into. So I think that's it for me for this piece for today, for the prompt lettering for Junk Journal July. And you know, this was interesting to make. It's something different. I don't use monochrome or black and white very often. I do like using text. This got me out of my comfort zone, and that's kind of the point of doing these challenges. It's always good to like challenge yourself and stretch and do things differently, and as you move on with your art and that sort of thing. I was able to give some of my washi tape a good workout. I've got lots of these rolls of tape that have words on them. I love them, and they show up in lots of my work. This one's probably been in about 70% of my work, my collages, honestly. This is probably my third roll of this particular design of tape. I've just been getting these off Amazon. Anyway, thanks for watching. I hope you found something of interest in all of this, and have a good day, and be sure to check out the other artists who are working in Junk Journal July. Take care.